Let's work through an example for a multi-step income statement. So this problem says prepare a multi-step income statement using the following information. So we're given a list of revenues, expenses, we have sales returns and allowances, right? So we have all of this information here and we can prepare a multi-step income statement. So it's going to look something like this. So we start off with our sales information because we want to figure out our net sales. Well, our net sales in this case will be our sales revenue minus our sales returns and allowances. So our sales revenue was $950,000. So we'll write that in for our sales revenue. Our sales returns and allowances, those were $25,000. So when we subtract the two, we have a net sales amount of $925,000. So that's step one, is to figure out your net sales. Then, after finding out your net sales, then we list out our cost of goods sold. So cost of goods sold is an expense, right? So our cost of goods sold here, we're told, was $400,000. Now, using our net sales and our cost of goods sold, we can find our gross profit. What we'll do is we'll take our net sales minus our cost of goods sold to find out that we have a gross profit of $525,000. So that's going to be a relationship that's really important to know, right? Is that your gross profit is your net sales minus your cost of goods sold. Then the next section is your operating expenses. They could just tell you that you had X amount of operating expenses, or in this case, they listed out the operating expenses for us. We had salaries, utilities, insurance, and depreciation expense. So we'll put all those amounts in our multi-step income statement. Then, since we have 4 different operating expenses, we're going to want to total those up to figure out what our total operating expenses will be. So when you add up those 4 expenses, you get $101,000. Our next line is income from operations. Your income from operations will be your gross profit minus your operating expenses. So we had a gross profit of $525,000 and total operating expenses of $101,000. So our income from operations will be $424,000. Then we get to these last couple sections, our other revenues and gains and other expenses and losses. So we had an interest revenue. We also had an interest expense. So our interest revenue, that was $20,000, and our interest expense was $15,000. We will then use these amounts to help us figure out our net income. So we take a look back at our income from operations. We're sitting at $424,000 right now. Revenue would make your income increase, so we'll add in our interest revenue. And then expenses make your income decrease, right? So we'll subtract our interest expense. And then we'll be able to figure out our net income. So if we take $424,000 and add in our interest revenue of $20,000 and subtract out our interest expense of $15,000, we are given a net income of $429,000. So that's a multi-step income statement. Now, what you have been working with is called a single-step income statement, right? So a multi-step shows different pieces, right? It shows your gross profit. It shows your income from operations. A single-step income statement is just listing out your revenues, listing out your expenses, taking your total revenues minus your total expenses to get your net income. Now, what's important here is that you'll notice your net income amount is the same on both a multi-step income statement and a single-step income statement.